Hey everyone, it's Darren Benton with Performance Motorcoaches. We're up here in northern Indiana, enjoying the fall weather that's rolling in a little bit. 55 degrees today, but I'm still holding tight to my shorts. We are finally getting some of our stock 2026 Renegade inventory. Wanted to do a video of, this is our very first 2026 Renegade Valencia. We've kind of had a little bit of love-hate with the Valencia and the Verona product. We do still like the product, we just don't sell a lot of it. Now, we've been a Renegade dealer since 2020. We've seen the product kind of evolve throughout time, and we're super glad to be able to see this 2026. A lot of cool things that are different about this, lots of unique things. Floor plan, there's a tractor going by us back behind, so I'll try to speak up a little bit, but lots of cool stuff about this. So everything from the exterior to the paint scheme to the interior, the color selections, I'm really most impressed with the Valencia, to be honest with you. Now, the chassis itself is a S2 RV. So this is basically Freightliner's beginner chassis. They build all kinds of different chassis. So basically this will be their smallest engine chassis. They build all the way up to 600 horsepower. So this is an S2 RV. So essentially what Freightliner does is built a RV friendly chassis. So fuel tank goes back behind the axle to alleviate some of that weight. The batteries are shipped separately, has a big cab opening, has a 3000 series Allison transmission, a little bit higher horsepower and torque. So the engine itself is a 6.7 liter, better known as the ISB. It's 360 horse, 800 foot-pounds of torque. It is incredibly easy to drive. The M2 and the S2 has a 55-degree wheel cut. So basically I can put this thing wherever I need to. So it rides and drives exceptionally well. It's definitely not built for heavy-duty towing, but I tell you what, the perfect RV exists in your budget and what you see yourself doing. This still has a 12,000-pound towing capacity. It gets people into the RV lifestyle. To me, it's something good to break into if you're not 100% certain. It's really difficult to spend that $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 for your first RV. Your partner might decide they were not RVers. So this is a good entry into what I consider Super C. People use the Super C name high and low. I mean, all the way down to, basically, one-ton pickup trucks. But this is definitely a higher gross vehicle weight rating. You don't have to worry about overloading this truck. It's going to do a phenomenal job. And like I said, lots of the things you've become accustomed to with Renegade as far as build quality, but they really knocked it out of the park as far as everything goes. So this is their first venture onto the 3 slide, which is a kitchen slide, will be 2026. So this is a 39 RB. This was known as the 38 RB in the past. They stretched it about a foot to be able to accommodate this slide. Slides do eat up a little bit of room, so that's kind of what they did. So this is probably right about 40 foot. I don't know the exact numbers, but previously their numbers was 30. I think they were like pretty close to 39. So generally there's about a foot worth of fudge room there. But exterior is the Atmos. I'm not a blue guy, but I got to tell you what, I kind of have to see something to be able to fall in love with it. This is a prime example. The blue looks really classy on it. It's not over the top. Of course, I love silvers, whites, things that are lighter in color, so it really gives it a splash of color. We've seen the whites, the grays, the silvers, and to be honest with you, Shauna Lee is done with that, and so I think she really is excited about having this little bit of splash of color in there. So I think it's a good look. Another big thing we've been fighting for, doing a much more upgraded awning on this. So unfortunately, it's only offered on the 3 slide floor plans in the Valencia and the Verona. We're trying to push that into the entire product line. Things that should have happened all along that are now standard. So keyless entry on your entry, to me, just makes sense. Having this really nice awning. Renegade is on the top of the food chain, in my opinion, on the Super C market. So they build them better. They have dovetail drawers. Everything is heavier duty. The woodwork is phenomenal. So you might as well go ahead and give everybody all the amenities associated with it. The side swing baggage doors, same side swing baggage door they do all the way up to their highest end product. It's a dual latch, nice gas prop there. There's so many things that just make the leaps and bounds better than the competition. Outdoor TV, Nice big combined storage compartment there. They're not offering a bed line on the compartments. That's something we see from the Verona LE and up. The nice thing about the carpeted, you don't have to worry about things getting scratched inside. Everybody has their own preference. I guess at the end of the day, if you really had to have these things ripped out and lined, it's something we could easily do at the, not easily, but easily do, but something we could do at the dealership itself. So we have a few different 110 plugs. That's another thing we can easily do, is always add additional 110 plugs on these units. We're at a slight angle, so that's the reason why I had to kind of give it a little assist on these baggage compartments. We're kind of going downhill. Now, the biggest difference outside of a chassis from the Valencia up to the Verona is this is still a propane unit. Now, there again, in the past, you had the AquaHot 250, which was kind of a love-hate. Big news. AquaHot 450 standard on the Verona up now. So I think that will kind of quash some of those fears for the Verona customers. I tell you what, the nice thing about propane, it's probably the most reliable heating source. It does involve some additional fuel, but you could probably argue it all day long, but at the end of the day, I will definitely say that propane is more reliable. There's lots of little pieces, parts associated with those AquaHots. So come out back, 2-piece rear cap, which they've done for quite some time. If you damage a portion, it's generally the lower portion, this can be shoved in a UPS box and sent somewhere across the country. Of course, we don't have any graphics in here. That's another thing. Whenever I design paint schemes, I try not to do any kind of design in here. So that way, if you blasted one of those storage compartments, it's generally gonna be ridge of the axle. Very easy to take and change. You don't have fades, you don't have graphics. So it makes it much easier to be able to change that. Same for your rear cap, one solid color right here. I could probably realistically put this in a box after we took it to the paint shop up here and had it shipped out, all wrapped up and painted to be installed. Another big thing they did change, they went to the Gen Y. They just do a better job. I know that they wrap the frame better. They have so many different options like convertibility. Gen Y just simply does a better job. Someone's happy to see that end of this product. Basically, it was only in the higher line stuff, and they pushed it in the end of their 20,000, and now you see the 12,000 pound hitch here. Come around back here, we do have the short cord transfer switch all within that. That's the little weight tag that I picked up off the hitch. We'll get that installed once we get back to the dealership. 8K generator, so the 8K will be centered all the way up into the Explorer line. Placement the same. Got the Stinky Slinky out of the wet bay over here. No brainer. Happy to see that. Started that, I guess, last year. And as we talked about earlier, the fuel tank is rear to the axle, so 100-gallon fuel tank. Fuel on one side, I don't think it's a big deal. I prefer fueling on one side. I don't like the dual fuel tanks. It's a pain in the butt. You have to go to the truck stops. They're always dirty. You know, it's like you're out there ice skating in diesel. So I like to have just a single 100-gallon tank right there. So many places you get in and out of. So Renegade's always done a phenomenal job on their wet bays. Clean and simple, that's what you want. Everything is water jetted in there. All the pertinent stickers are actually water jetted in versus the other stickers are kind of general info. The water hose reel is standard. So many things that just whenever you start talking about a product of this caliber, I forget what the actual MSRP is, but I would anticipate you could probably paying somewhere pretty close to $300,000 for this product, give or take a little bit, but just kind of use that round, rough figure as far as what you could expect to pay for them. So we do have, this coach does have a macerator pump, so your switch is there, and then it's auto retract. See that, kids? See the light in there? Just so many small things that have changed throughout the years, and it's nice to be able to see that. It's nice to get excited about something new. Lots of things are boring in the RV industry. Renegade's keeping it real, keeping it interesting on all their product lines. So the Truma Aqua Go, basically that's a tankless water heater. There is a small reservoir. The tankless in general have just come leaps and bounds from what they started at originally. The problem with the originals, they didn't have any type of a small capacity inside, so it was very much, if you're trying to conserve water, you get these hot and cold surges, and it was a giant pain in the rear. Like to see that, and then they just keep on evolving. So really appreciate that. Gray and black, same on all the product all the way through. So 75 gray, 75 gallon black. You'll see that all the way up to the XL line. Like I said, it does have the macerator. We do have some 12 volt heat pads on the back of those tanks. There is not a hydronic register because this toast does not have a hydronic register. We could easily go through there and add additional heat sources, whether it's 110 or 12 volt inside the wet bay. Propane tank on board here, very easy to get to. The issue with a lot of the remote mounts is, if you have some type of leak, you don't necessarily know it. Just having the little bit of side protection on this versus back behind the frame there, I think it makes a little bit more sense. You do lose a little bit of storage. We can obviously go through and put like some expanded metal on the bottom side of that, be able to utilize that as storage. I'll probably task the guys just to go ahead and get that done, so we'll already be done for its new owner. Note to self, expanded metal. Probably do stainless, so that way it doesn't rust. This does have the optional lithium battery, so it has 100 amp hour batteries. Could you add more? We could add more. We couldn't add them right there. We'd have to add them elsewhere, but something easily changeable. You might be able to fit 2 of those 400 amp hour batteries in there, so possible expansion, not a problem. Do a good job on the steps. The S2 is a little bit lower. We're going to try to do a video of the M2 sitting right next to the S2, and we'll talk about a few differences. But this cab is a little bit lower, easier in and out. Heated seats, standard on Valencia and Verona. Glad to see it. The new Plus dash, which is a little bit nicer door panels and dash themselves. They do save a little bit of money here and there, so they don't take their paint all the way into their door jambs. As you get up in the product line, that will disappear. It's crazy to see some of those in that $600,000-$800,000 that don't have any graphics, any paint within that. It's excusable at this price point, in my opinion. To be honest with you, lots of things can happen here. They can make a lot of mistakes. There's lots of things they got to remove. So I would just soon have this the way that it is. The nice thing about black, it kind of blends in with everything. You do silver, black, man, maybe it won't, but it's just very easy to contend with, and not have to worry about doing any additional damage inside the base. We do have the rear and the side cams. That will be standard. Freightliner Custom Chassis is division of Freightliner, specifically RV use. Do the outdoor TV here. I started this a few years ago. Comes out at an angle, and then little magnets on the inside. Little sound bar underneath. Kick our shoes off, stay a while. Look at this. The first thing, instead of something that's a little jicky that's going to rattle a whole bunch, they do this all the way up and down the product line. Very easy to use, not going to rattle. That's a big thing. It drives me nuts. So I like to do a walkthrough with the slides in, give you an idea of the lay of the land as you would drive up and down the road or pull over and grab a snack. I can get to my half bath, I can get to my refrigerator, and do anything I really need to do. Change the laundry, swap the laundry as well. So very easy floor plan to navigate. Nothing that's the Class A's are really guilty of that. You can't walk through them. It drives me nuts. So hydraulic slide over here. They moved to that in 2023. And then we have the Schwentech. We had our first LE the other day. I didn't mention it in the ad that they've gone to some of the Sure Slide as some proto. So we had one of the first protos out there. We had a little bit of seal issue, but I think that will be corrected. Something we were able to get corrected there at the dealership in the future. I don't think we're going to have any issue with that. The nice thing about the Schwentechs, we can fix them. We got parts. Most dealerships in the country can fix them as well. So talk about the cabinetry. Said all dovetail, soft close. It changed up the decor a little bit. This is Wilmington, which is kind of a gray toned on the inside. Cape Cod stain. Now, what I like about this setup right here is you have a mixture of tans and grays. The Cape Cod does exceptionally well as a product that really doesn't lend itself one way or the other. I think it looks really good, really classy. And for those people that don't want to stay straight tan or straight gray, that'll kind of give you something in between. Great job with the wall panel, the backsplash as well. So we do have a 110 on either side, so if you had a small coffee bar, be a little bit bigger pain to do right here. There again, if you had to have a plug, we could probably do some type of plug underneath here. That's all things we could easily get done at the dealership, but I know Shauna Lee likes this. A mixture of the two. And the, what do they call it? Knurled? Knurled or knurled? Knurled. So trash can underneath there. And then look at this, kids. You put a baby in there. You put your baby right in there. And then, you know, as your baby gets bigger, have more room for the baby. So no, these are actually for the sink covers and the covers over the cooktop. As we talked about earlier, this is a propane unit, so it still has gas. I didn't realize that. I think 90% of women prefer to cook on gas, so keep that in mind. We have built some custom rigs with strictly gas cooktops in the past for people that simply hate the induction, but I don't know if we could even get that done, but if you want gas, here it is. So Samsung, they were using a Whirlpool in the past, a little bit smaller, just be able to get in place, but anybody that's never seen a refrigerator, here you go. Put your eggs right there. And simple little lock, super simple. Got this right here, give you like a feel like you're at your loft apartment. So safety in and out of there. That is on a swing arm, could be moved out. There's a TV up there. This guy will slide back and forth. So they got away from those wooden ladders that weighed about 800 pounds, and they've gone to a nice retractable little ladder system. However, they didn't have a good spot for them. That always drove me nuts. Guess what? In the closet. Great spot. Goes right in there. Has a little holder so it doesn't bang around. This will slide back and forth. No longer do they have those goofy little pins that you kind of had to hold your tongue just right to get in. It just goes over this edge and will lock into place there. Lots of small things, but it turns into a big thing throughout time. Noticed a guy the other day wanted to know what these were right here. That's your air conditioner vents to go up in here. You know how many manufacturers don't put AC vents on this bunk over? It's an insane amount, and it gets really hot. Another thing they previously just did on just the LEs, they used to not have speakers right here, so you just didn't have enough sound really blasting out of the cab. Now, Freebird all day long. As high as you can possibly put, Freebird right here for everybody to listen to. Sounds like you're at the concert. So the Plus chassis here, I've done similar to what you see on the Cascadia, all steering wheel controls. So you have your cruise integrated into that. You have your steering controls. So there again, just makes it nice. Another thing that they've done, so people always complained about having their GPS and backup all in one. That was a thing in the past. Now this is a camera monitor there. We could force that to be able to be in reverse all the time. Just put a master switch there. If you want a bigger monitor, we've done everything underneath the sun. Hydraulic jacks, main controllers here. You do have it within the Firefly itself, but definitely a step up on the chassis itself. It was much needed in my opinion. Nice door panel, everything is just a better look. You do have air ride seats right here. So we'll come out back. These are electric. The old Shin Knocker 2.0 was really difficult. You'd push a little deal and then just split your shin, so nice to have this electric heat. Reminds me of Christmas Vacation or something. But if you had a rough back, probably not a bad idea. Put your TV guide right there, your Reader's Digest, got a little USB back in there. All dual pane windows, like the big picture window here next to the dinette. I wish they would do that in the Verona. I want to see out the window. I don't want to have to bend over. Convertible boot dinette. They do have a 110 with USB and USB-Cs. Have our storage spots for our cushion on each side there. It's pretty nice, kids. Cape Cod. So a ton of room in this dude. Oh, no, they got the electrical out of the way. They always put, like, you would open up a compartment and you say, am I being punked? Great to have the electrical out of the way. When I put it up there, I mean, that's your closet up there, but it does have a Starlink. Check that out, kids. So it just makes sense to get it out of the kitchen. They were really bad about always having the kitchen, so I like to have all the electrical in a place that's, I guess it'd probably be better there as far as bending down and such. But I mean, look at the room here. You got the room here, the room there. Look at those drawers. Put all your Encyclopedia Britannicas in there. And then, look at this. Nice. Check out the hardware. It's going to go all the way around. Not the top, we're going to hit there. But I don't know what those things cost in comparison to that, but that's probably 4 times the money. So nice to have that. Go get in here, do your laundry. Little inspection panel below. We'll come into the half bath. Still a decent amount of room. Good storage here. Look at that, kids. Spot to put your tickets. Still dovetail. Fixed shelf there. Convertible shelf there. There. And even some storage underneath. Windows in each bath. I like that. 66-inch wide bed here. We do have a master Firefly control. Do have lots of storage around to be able to put your ink daubers. Put your ink daubers in there. I don't know what else you put in there. I know what Sean Lee would put in there. Her ear things. Sometimes I've been told I snore at night. There again, 110 with USB and USB-Cs on each side of the bed. We do have 2 windows. A lot of people like to sit up in bed, so you don't like to do the egress at the head of the bed. Looky here, kids. We have the egress. 32-inch TV up top. Come home at night. Do all this. I kind of like having a storage spot there. I'd lose it back in there. So, talked earlier about the big ladder that goes up front. Cool to have that. And then a ton of drawers. I don't know how many pairs of socks and underwear I could fit in here, but probably 100. And then look at this drawer right here. I don't know, you put all your Afghans in there. Little drawers underneath. And then put the remotes there. Same type setup right here. So there's a ton of storage in this. We got a little bit of storage underneath the bed. Really and truly, the fresh water exists below the bed. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it underneath the bed? So they were doing like a little, see that? They did a little, they got that so it wasn't the head chopper. I guess really not that much storage underneath. They did a little bit narrower bed base, make it easier. Easy to winterize. You get underneath there. You do have a nice gate valve. Big door here, and then so you have to go up to the Explorer to get a solid surface shower, but they kind of classed it up with that. I'm like, is that what would you call that? It's a Mediterranean look. Got that little dude right there. Convertible shelving. But still good room here and there. Fixed shelving there. We do have a Max Air on each bathroom as well. Is there a Max Air in the kitchen, Charlie? Do you remember? No. No max air, but you do have a vented microwave. That's important. Let's turn that on, get all the cruciferous vegetable smell out while you're cooking your Brussels sprouts. But all in all, pretty darn impressed. Like I said, hopefully we'll have time to get the Rona next to it, talk about the chassis, talk about some of the differences, but I think they really knocked it out of the park. Decor, hardware, everything really flows extremely well inside and outside. This coach will be on the road to our dealership probably the next day or so. We'll have this guy all cleaned up and in the showroom. You want to come out, we have another. So I think in the next 30 days we should have 2 Veronas and 2 Valencias sitting there. But the idea is to be able to pack that new showroom, to be able to go from coach to coach, be able to talk about things different. You know, what this coach has, what that coach has. For people that are, you know, it's difficult, you know, to be able to shop for these things solely online. You really need to walk into them, touch them, feel them, get a better idea of what you're looking at. Always appreciate you guys watching these videos. It's a new microphone. I don't know if it's going to work or not. If not, check them out at Ceramonic. Leave the negative reviews to Ceramonic. Been trying everything we can. Sean Lee decided to try and give him one more time, just like she does me. Gives me one more chance. So if Ceramonic doesn't deliver, we'll go elsewhere. Always appreciate you guys watching these videos. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.